Trumpeta italia katika anga.
Like this. That is how the trumpet will sound.
Ekonene. So kuna vile on Sunday the Ministry of Health walibaki wameandika that the motorcade of the Cabinet Secretary for Health Aden Duale today stopped at the scene of a road accident at Otonglo near the molasses plant in Kisumu, where the Cabinet Secretary mobilized an emergency medical response to assist the victims. So skia, umesikia hiyo? The motorcade of the Cabinet Secretary of Health today stopped at the scene. That means they found the scene. Then ikaendelea. At the time of the accident, the cabinet secretary was traveling to Kisumu International Airport from Rarieda. Then following the accident, immediate rescue efforts were coordinated, leading to the evacuation of more than 19 injured persons to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital for urgent medical attention. Then ikaendelea. Unfortunately, 2 fatalities were confirmed at the scene, while 1 additional victim succumbed to injuries while being transported to hospital. Then ikaisha. Emergency responders, local authorities and medical teams acted swiftly to provide assistance and ensure that the injured received prompt medical care. Then ikakuwa the Ministry of Health conveys its condolences to the families of those who lost their lives and wishes a quick recovery to those receiving treatment. So this was a post that Ase walibaki wamepost, and this was on Sunday night at around 9:24 a.m. Then of course kuna msali kwa ameandika plot thickens. Was CS Aden's security car involved in an accident? Ikakuwa, is it CS Duale's security car that killed the 3? What's this confusion? Then ikakuwa motorcade stopping at the accident scene for photoshoot. Okay. Alafu the same day kuna vile national kwa meka 3 die in Duale motorcade accident. The death toll in a road crash involving vehicles in Health CS Aden Duale's convoy has reached 3 after 2 more people succumbed to injuries. So nacheki the post that he did. The post that he did originally was that alipata accident alafu they stopped to help. But now baadaye tunakamkulan that they did not only cause the accident, but they were driving on the wrong side of the road. Kumbuka hii ni after hii bullshit yote ya we need to stop road accidents hapa Kenya. The president is really concerned, and because of that the president has decided to work with Pesa Print. Unakumbuka hiyo yote? Ilikuwa ni to reduce fatalities on the road. Then a minister, yes, like a cabinet secretary who works for President Ruto, ends up with his motorcade driving on the wrong side of the road, and what happens? Someone ends up dying. And we have to ask ourselves, like, how long are we supposed to just accept that these things are part of life? And how long are we supposed to believe that Kenyan lives are lesser? And I'm going to put lesser in quotes if you come to politicians, because politicians in Kenya get away with anything. Najua, they'll drive on the wrong side of the road. They don't have to follow traffic rules. They're always in a hurry. And you wonder, like, why do we live in a shithole? Because the fact that you guys are always in a hurry means that we need to be living in like one of the best countries in the world, because you people are always working. Najua, like ukiwa place yote utashtukia tu kuna kiprado kimekuja side yako. Brrr, uzimeka ma lights kutuonyesha. So hii ndio kitu li happen. But sasa cheki vile walitry kusafisha rada that they were helping. But sasa now of course by Monday journalists could go to the victims, so acha tusikie kile ili happen.
Katika wadi moja hospitali ya rufaa ya Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, watu 5 bado wanapokea matibabu. Manusura hawa walikuwa katika magari mawili yaliyogongwa ana kwa ana na msafara wa magari katika barabara ya Kisumu Busia.
Masikio ana kwa ana, hiyo ni head on collision. And why were they hit head on? Because they were keeping left and this mother were keeping right. So they came to this other side. Why? Because they're in such a hurry that, najua, like them, they're always in a hurry. Sisi wengine ndio tuna shughuli. If you don't work for the Kenya government, you're not in a hurry. But if you work for the Kenya government, you're always in a hurry and you have the right of way. And we live in a shithole. Like, why do we live in a shithole? Like, if you people are always working, that means you're incompetent as fuck. Because if I worked that hard, that I could not stay in traffic, and Kenya looked like the way it looks,
Wengi walipoteza fahamu kutokana na kishindo cha ajali hiyo.
Liligongana na gari aina ya Prado nyeusi ambayo ilikuwa imetoka opposite direction kwa speed ya juu na ikagonga bumps, ikairusha na kugonga gari letu.
Mimi nilisikia tu mlipuko na nikaona ni kama ninasungushwa chini, nina roll. Sasa baadaye sikujua ni nini next, but nilipata fahamu nikiwa hospitali.
So try to imagine, you decide to follow the rules. Kenya iko na very simple rule. We keep left. That's the rule. We keep left. So you decide as a law-abiding Kenyan, you're going to keep left. And then some CS decides that he's in such a hurry that, because you know this CS, he could have even made a call. Angepiga call kwa hizi planes za Kenya, they'll wait for him, you know, the way these people are above the law. But decides, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to risk the lives. Try to imagine, 3 people died and 19 were injured. 19, so 22 lives have been changed permanently, because niko sure these hospital bills are not things they can afford. That's number 1. Number 2, these are people who cannot afford to take an off day. So you injure them, you kill some of them, and you're still the cabinet secretary of health. And then we keep hearing this bullshit story of we are going to be Singapore. Singapore is not about just the hardware, it's also about the software. And this is the software.
Picha hizi za mwanagenzi zinaonyesha taswira baada ya ajali. Watu wawili walifariki papo hapo na mwingine mmoja akafariki hospitalini.
Mimi nimepoteza watoto wote sasa, sababu hata Kiptoo sina mahali pa kusika. Mama, niko na uchungu na nimeambiwa ni kari ya serikali ndio likanyega Kiptoo. Kweli Mungu, serikali angalia mimi na nyumba yangu.
Kuna kitu moja musemaga juu ya positive ethnicity, that we've created a government that does not even care about, in quotes, its voters. You can see the pain in this woman's eyes, and you can hear her crying for her son Kiptoo. You might find Kiptoo is someone who voted for Ruto. Why? Because he expected Ruto to create a better country for him. But what did Ruto create? Ruto created an environment where the likes of Duale can just decide to tell their drivers, I'm in a hurry and I need you to take me to the airport in the shortest time possible. I don't care if someone ends up getting injured in the process. I don't care if someone ends up dying, as long as mimi nimefika. Why? Because I'm more important. Remember, I'm a billionaire. Oh, but you said you had 960. No, I've already made $1 billion. I work for the government. You know, we make money as we sleep. So that's what happened. So try to imagine the pain that this woman has. You can see analia, anabonga juu ya the fact that watoi wake maybe amelose watoi wengine before, and I always look at this and I say this is unacceptable. And we've come to love our politicians unconditionally, that it means that they can get away with this, that this guy, after causing this accident, will just go and Ruto will not ask him to step aside. Ruto will not be like, you know what, my government can't have the blood of 3 Kenyans and even more blood, like 19 Kenyans who have been injured. And I can assure you, these 19 Kenyans can't afford to take a day off. Mimi, as Mwafrika, I can't afford to take a day off. Unajua? And I'm middle class. Siwezi afford to take a day off. Asa walikuwa kwa tuk-tuk. Inamaanisha au si middle class. Can they afford to take a day off? Nasikia
hapo jana, Wizara ya Afya ilisema kuwa msafara wa Waziri Aden Duale ulisimama kunusuru waathiriwa wa ajali hiyo, ila walioshuhudia wakipinga semi hizo.
It was a vehicle number KCS 006B. It hit. Duale was inside that car. He actually walked out when the villagers started throwing stones at him. That is when he walked out and later on joined another car.
Tunatema tu serikali waangalie vile wanaendesha magari yao kwa barabara. Kwa maana ukiangalia hapo vizuri pale chini ya accident, hiyo gari iligonga tuk-tuk on the left hand side, ambayo inaonyesha walichukua barabara yote.
Watu 12 walitibiwa Jumapili jioni na kuruhusiwa kuenda nyumbani, wengine 5 wakilazwa.
So, matikio, so these are 12 people walikuwa treated and discharged. Kuna then another 5 that were admitted. Remember what I keep telling you, you'll find with these injuries they can't go and do their work, because try to imagine maybe ni msana wa kumjengo ataweza kulift na injuries. So lazima take this long break, this unnecessary long break. But even about our injuries, I can, najua at least wako alive and hopefully it's not life threatening. But 3 people lost their lives. And 3 people lost their lives because somehow we've come to make politicians into these demigods. And this is what maybe a reason more fighting religion, because it only takes is after you worship a god, the next thing you're going to worship is man. And you're going to let these people get away with such stuff. So this accident happens and they decide to lie to Kenyans, that alone should be an offense that's enough for any reasonable CS to resign. We were involved. And they come up with such a bullshit lie. We live in the era of technology. This is not like 1992 where unaweza dedishana, alafu you push a bullshit narrative, alafu by the time you are coming to learn the truth, it's 1 month from now and we've already moved on and we've healed. No, we've not moved on and we've not healed. So this is what happened this Sunday. Alafu ukitaka kujua vile ni messed up, you can actually see how the people who witnessed this were so scared that unacheki hapo kuna like someone, the one who was giving the story that Duale was in the car, they had to censor her face. Nacheki. And kuna mwingine tena pia alikuwa like used kwa the news that ilikuwa saa 3 usiku. Now the English one. Ye pia alienda pakisensariwa. What does that show you? Because this country is literally run by thugs. So this person has to sit down and wonder, like, am I ready to risk my life just to give this story? Alafu wana decide like, no, siwezi risk life yangu, so wacha nibaki nimejificha, di at least hawa watu wasinikujie. But this is the interesting thing. Hata jana, as I do this, jana kuna vile the president was still telling us about Singapore. But we have to understand that these countries, akina Singapore, it's not about hardware, it's all about software. And what software are we talking about? It's all about respect for human life. That who president wa Singapore, when he decided to turn that country into whatever he turned it into, is because he respected the lives of Singaporeans. Najua, sijui kama naitangwa hivyo. Alafu he felt like they need to live a decent life and their life means something. Life in Kenya, if you're a civilian and you're not rich, it means nothing. But even if you're rich, you're not immune from the prados coming to your lane. That you're not immune. Government prados, you are not immune. So wacha tusikize.
Gari letu.
Hata mwenye alitugonga alikuja saidi yetu. Alikuja saidi yetu. Na fununu vile tunasikia gari ilikuwa ya CS Aden Duale. So vile alitugonga yeye alienda.
Nasikia hiyo? Fununu. Like it's 100% sure, like everyone is 100% sure that of course ile kitu ili happen ni gari ya Duale, but still this guy he's so afraid that he has to say fununu. Fununu inasema ilikuwa ni gari ya Duale, but ilikuwa gari ya Duale. Sisi tutasema iko nani? Ilikuwa ni gari ya Duale. According to mimi, Duale should have resigned by now. Do I expect that to happen? No, that is not going to happen. Why? Because politicians' lives are classified as more important than civilian lives. And is there going to be any consequences? No. Is there going to be any compensation? No. That's just the way that this country is. This is the system that we've built. And this is the reason why sometimes I think tunafaa kuwekewa, I don't know why nani Jomo Kenyatta wanga like buried, but if you could have an access to just go to that grave and piss on it, I'd be happy to do that. And also like why am I angry at Jomo Kenyatta? Because he built the foundation for this bullshit. He built the foundation for a country that all we respect are politicians, that human life means nothing. You can try and imagine. Someone kills 3 people, injures 19 people. That's a total of 22 people. And gets on a plane, asks his media team to write the most bullshit statement, and it goes like that. And he's going to get away with it. Why is he going to get away with it? Because that's the country that Jomo Kenyatta built. The so-called founding father, the first person to create the software that the rest end up dealing with. And that software was rotten. By time Moi alikuja, akaimess kabisa. Kibaki, akaimess. Alafu sasa Kibaki alikuja ka inflate by salaries of politicians. Politicians never used to earn this much under Moi. Of course, they used to steal as much, but they never used to earn this much. Then ikakuwa these people are above the law and they can do whatever they want to do. Alafu kita kucheki the irony to all these stories ni. So this happens on Sunday, and of course watu wa NTSA wanajua, they know that one of their own alibaki amededishana. And what do? On Monday they announce the instant fines, and these instant fines, they are interesting because they are so high and they are so exorbitant, but I know that, like, I don't know if they're going to bring sanity, because sijui kama mafala watabaki wameziseti in the right places. Because yes, do we need sanity on Kenyan roads? Yes, we need sanity on Kenyan roads. Is this the way to do it? The way we are doing it right now is strictly because of pesa print, and kitu moja niza kuadvise kama wewe ni msewochi konene, just slow down mpaka ulearn hizo places, check signs, jua pale unafaa kudo this speed, do that speed, do what. Why? Because also, yes, we need to stop all these fatalities. There are too many. Hopefully this pia itasaidia kikam to stories about borders and borders not following any rules. So hopefully that is also going to nene. Mimi mwenyewe sijajipata kwa barabara since these rules zi happen. Nilijipata kwa barabara Monday. Ilikuwa ni Monday morning. Kiveleka mtoi chuo. And I remember waseka wamestop kwa lights. Of course, nili up nimestop kwa lights, but I remember some dude in a GLC alikama kapita, akaenda akasimama pali afai kusimama, and but still he still waited eventually mpaka light ya green ikatana green, and si wote tukaingia tu kwa baro. So I don't know if by then they were active. So far the roads and nasemekana iko active, ni kama wasemi ni everywhere, but then wanasema ni everywhere. So wacha tusikize.
Along the southern bypass in Nairobi, motorists speed in both directions, unaware that this is one of the roads now monitored by NTSA cameras under the newly rolled out instant fine management system. Officially activated on Monday, NTSA announced the digital system in a public notice as part of a broader plan to enhance road safety. The system is programmed in such a way that once a motorist violates a traffic rule, it sends a notification of the offense and the fine one is supposed to pay. For example, a driver who exceeds the speed limit by 5 km per hour will be fined 500 shillings. Those driving between 6 and 10 km per hour above the limit will pay 3,000 shillings. While drivers exceeding the limit by 11 to 15 kilometers per hour face a fine of 6,000 shillings.
So unacheki. So ki exceed by 5 kilometers unalipa 500 bob, 6 to 10 3k, 11 to 15 6k, alafu 16 to 20 10k. Yes.
Motorists speeding between 16 and 20 km per hour over the limit will be fined 10,000 shillings. However, drivers exceeding the speed limit by more than 21 km per hour will not pay a standard fine. Instead, they will face court charges and their license will be suspended for a specified period.
So, unacheki, so it affects stories of license suspension. So, with this comes a lot of things like ini waswako kwa gari. What's going to happen with borders? Because do we need sanity on Kenyan roads? Yes, we need sanity on Kenyan roads. But even before we talk about this sanity on Kenyan roads, will government cars follow these rules? And I can assure you, government cars doesn't follow these rules. Why? And I can even go as far as saying Ruto's kids won't follow the same rules. Why? Pesa print ni Buddha. So Mood, I don't expect Mood to follow any rules. Mood will still do whatever Mood does. And that's where the problem comes in. When the law is selective, when the law is like, okay, you're Mood, you belong to Ruto's son. You can do whatever you want to do. Oh, shit. You belong to a random Kenyan? Okay, this is the fine. Kumbuka, the random Kenyan versus Ruto's son. Who can actually afford the fine? Ruto's son. But that is what's going to happen. So easy fines zimetokea, and we hear about this on Monday morning. Kumbe on Sunday, Duale and his entourage had killed 3 people and sent 19 people to hospital. And we're on the road to Singapore. So I guess the road to Singapore has a lot of accidents, because that's the only way Nezabaki nimejustify that. So hizi fines zimetokea, tulibaki tumebonga juu hii story pia for the show that's going to come up saa 4 ni mimi DJ Zack na pia tuko na Robo, so make sure umeicheki. Konene, najua mwaka ni mpya lakini injili ni ile ile lemfi. So kama uko US, uko UK, uko Canada ama uko the UAE na unataka kutuma do Kenya, baki umechangamka, ingia lemfi, utabaki umepata the most competitive rates. Lakini apart from that, on your first transaction ya $100 or more utapata $20 sign up reward. So unangoja nini? Baki umechangamka, chap chap, ingia lemfi, international payments for everyone. Ekonene. But tukitoka hapo, kuna some of these news nazionaga niko zile za really we don't need this, man, we don't need this. And the news ile ilitokea ni kuna vile Azimio imekick out akina ni Junet and a few of those people, and you have to be there wondering like, does this mean anything? Like, and alafu inasemekana that mse ule alikuwa kwa the forefront of doing that ni Kalonzo Musyoka. And I have to wonder, like, Kalonzo, was this necessary? And does this help you in any way? Because the only thing that this does is, tukiangalia Azimio, I think a lot of people think of ODM before they think of even Wiper. And the fact that saizi kuna vile Wiper pia imeshikana na kina Gachagua, na guess that yeah. So but somehow I don't know, but kuna vile wali feel like they need to kutoa ase. So mse mmoja ule alitolewa of course ni Junet, na hii Junet ilikuwa funny sana because Junet nishamchekigi before akibonga vibaya kabisa juu ya Azimio na akisema vile Azimio isha dedi na vitu kama hizo. But yes, so now Junet ametolewa. Apart from Junet of course Mbadi ametolewa. Apart from Mbadi, nani tena pia ametolewa? Kuna mse anaitwa Opiyo Wandayi. Of course mseka Opiyo Wandayi akisikia hivyo anasikia tu kucheka. But kitu ile ni bamba ni this same report kuna vile ilikuwa done na wase wa Citizen, and walitumia Kiswahili sanifu, and it was like one of the most interesting things ile nishasikia jo kwa Kiswahili sanifu. Okay, wacha tusikize.
Kupitia kwa waraka wake kwa vyombo vya habari, kinara wa muungano wa Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Kalonzo Musyoka alitangaza kuwapiga kalamu waziri wa madini na masuala ya baharini Ali Hassan Joho, mbunge maalum Sabina Chege, Abdi Nur Omar Farah na kiongozi wa wachache katika bunge la kitaifa Junet Mohamed kutoka kwa baraza la Azimio. Kalonzo akimfuata Junet Mohamed tena hadi katika baraza simamizi la Azimio na kumfurusha huko pia, pamoja na waziri wa biashara ndogo Wycliffe Oparanya, waziri wa kawi Opiyo Wandayi, mbunge wa Eldas Adan Keynan, mbunge wa Pokot Kusini David Kosing, mbunge wa Likoni Mishi Mboko, seneta wa Garissa Abdul Haji, Isabella Wangeshi Gethenji, katibu wa Afrika Mashariki Caroline Karugu na Solomon Kuria kutoka kwa uongozi wa muungano huo.
So nachekio like so ase wote wamekuwa wamerushwa nje, kina Mishi Mboko, David Kosing. Naweza try kuimagine raya kama Mbadi is so happy that this was never going to like make his day into anything, and I don't think Azimio stands for anything. Even when Raila was alive, I think Azimio ilikuwa tayari sha dedi. So this was one of those ile the only reason abonga juu report ni vile mse wa Kiswa alikuwa anajibamba sana. So nachiki vile kupigwa kalamu, alafu bado akaendelea jo na Junet. Sikia Kiswahili jo.
Kalonzo alimuandama Junet zaidi, akimpiga teke kutoka kwa uongozi wa muungano wa wabunge wa Azimio bungeni, nafasi yake ikichukuliwa na mbunge wa Suba South Karoli Omondi.
Sikia hiyo. Kalonzo alimuandama Junet akampiga I found that like Kiswa wagana all this nonsense that makes it a really good language for unajua ni flowery language.
Karoli tayari alikuwa ametangazwa kuchukua nafasi ya katibu mkuu wa Azimio iliyoshikiliwa na mbunge wa Suna East Junet Mohamed. Kalonzo ambaye pia ni kiongozi wa chama cha Wiper Patriotic Front akisema mabadiliko hayo yaliyofanyika katika mkutano wa baraza la kitaifa la Azimio yalifanyika kwa sababu baadhi ya viongozi hao walikuwa wameteuliwa kwa nyadhifa za kitaifa na wengine kujihusisha na upinzani.
Damn. So sasa nashindwa upinzani ni nini? Wako serikalini. Waliojihusisha na upinzani ni walio serikalini ama walio serikalini wasio serikalini ndio wamehusika na mambo ya kipinzani. Sielewi mie.
Kalonzo sasa ametangaza kwamba watakaochukua nafasi hizo watateuliwa hivi karibuni, akitangaza hali ya hatari kwa wale ambao wanamezea mate na kuhusiana na serikali ya Rais William Ruto. Mabadiliko haya hata hivyo huenda yakakosa mashiko, kwani wana ODM ambao ndio wengi zaidi ya Azimio tayari wametangaza talaka yao kutoka kwa muungano huo, mkutano wa wajumbe wa chama hicho mwishoni mwa mwezi huu ukitarajiwa kuvunja ndoa hiyo rasmi.
So na check it. So was ODM, I just expect them to ignore this because it makes no sense. But somehow Kalonzo felt like he needed to do this, and I guess it's politics, so we have to flex our muscles. So somehow maybe Kalonzo will feel like kama na need to flex muscles zake alafu achekini aje. But pia another thing that ilikuwa ina happen on Monday ilikuwa ni the unveiling of the National Infrastructure Fund. And in National Infrastructure Fund, it's a very interesting one. And it's interesting why? It's interesting because a lot of public assets are being privatized. And as they are being privatized, you have to wonder, you have to ask yourself, are they being privatized for the good of the people, or are they being privatized for the good of a few individuals in government? Why? Because Kenya, there is no situation whereby these people just do something for us just because they love us. Like, akina Ruto wanaamka wanaenda kwa like a cabinet meeting alafu wanaamwaniaje, tunapenda wa Kenya sana, tunataka kuwaletea maendeleo, let's do this. That never happens. So that's the reason why lazima tujiulize like, why is this thing happening? So yes, Ruto alienda paki try to justify his story, and of course the private sector ilikuwa hapo. And history of the private sector is interesting because the more that the government borrows from the private sector, and the private sector including banks, the more that banks have nothing for me and you. Why? Because banks know that the government will borrow. So, wacha tusikize.
3 days after the National Assembly passed the National Infrastructure Bill 2026, which anchors the roadmap to the first world status for Kenya, President William Ruto put pen to paper, assenting to the bill, which now establishes the National Fund to power major infrastructural projects in the country.
The National Infrastructure Fund gives us the opportunity to build the future rather than wait for it. The National Infrastructure Fund is not an experiment.
The president announcing that the proceeds from the privatization of Kenya Pipeline Corporation will make the first installment of the 5 trillion shilling ambitious fund.
And tomorrow, in the morning, at 8, I will be at the NSC to ring the bell to complete the privatization of the Kenya Pipeline IPO and raise 106 billion Kenya shillings.
Okay, so nasikia hiyo. So leo kuna vile atakuwa kienda Nairobi Stock Exchange, and atabaki ring the bell, finalize the privatization of Kenya Pipeline. And from the outside looking in, of course, looks like this very noble idea, but I'm sure one day when we look at what was happening behind the scenes, we are going to find out that it's just Ruto and his cronies who've ended up getting these shares. Because don't forget, the Kenya Pipeline, najua, this is a corporation that will have like the government backing to a certain level. So it's, alafu the fact that we need fuel, najua, and Kenya Pipeline in a deal na hiyo story yote, I wouldn't be surprised. This is not about me and you. This is about them. But is he trying to do something positive with it? Yes, he's trying to do something positive with it, but is he and his cronies, are they stealing in the process? Yes, they're stealing in the process. So we are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Like, yes, do we need a new airport? Yes, we do. Do we need better infrastructure? Yes, we do. Do we want it at an inflated budget? No, we don't.
That will be the seed money for the National Infrastructure Fund.
The head of state also revealing that the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport expansion will be the inaugural project funded under the new plan.
We will put in our 15 or 20 billion. Pension funds, insurance companies, other collectives. You have the opportunity to invest. We are not talking about next year. We are not talking about in August. The opportunity to work with us in the National Infrastructure Fund is as soon as next month.
So yeah, so hii ilikuwa ni the National Infrastructure Fund. And kitu moja ilinibamba ni baadaye nilicheki cause ubuda anaitwa Mbadi alikuwa kwa hiyo event na kata akabaki amejisifu vile ana understand the whole Kenya Kwanza manifesto. And then I think you know the way you hear State House they spend like 17 billion. I think one of the things really happened with them spending the 17 billion is they had to do some videos, and kulikuwa na hii video moja that starts with unachiki Mbadi akiingia alafu after ingie like he sits down and adjust koti yake. Hii time yote kuna sauti ya Ruto inacheza in the background, and then eventually he starts talking. And when he starts talking, what you notice is, I don't know, but I don't feel like he articulates the points well. But wacha tusikize.
It represents a new chapter in how Kenya finances its future.
It must be understood, and we are all in agreement, that we still have needs in this country. We still need to develop our infrastructure. However, it is also not in doubt and in dispute that our fiscal space is already constrained, yet the demands are rising by the day. Therefore, the government has seen it fit, and this is in compliance or response to the manifesto of the Kenya Kwanza administration.
Achiki hapo anabonga juu ya the manifesto of the Kenya Kwanza administration. Kumbuka hiyo haya ilikuwa Azimio. But apart from that, niko sure maybe unashindwa kwa nini nimebonga juu ya State House. Ngoja video ikiisha jo, utaona where the video was shot. State House.
That we set up a fund, National Infrastructure Fund, which would help in taking out of our budget the commercially viable infrastructure projects and invest resources into a commercially viable infrastructure fund by blending with the private sector fund, crowding in the private sector fund into public infrastructure projects. And this will de-risk these projects and make them attractive to investment from the private sector, blended with the funding from the National Infrastructure Fund. Then we will be able to realize this project. So it is helping the public in reducing the number of projects that will be implemented through our budget.
As he tries to explain, you can see this is just something that Ruto ama David Ndi explained to him, and now he had to articulate. And of course, kitu kingine pia sijai understand all this nonsense of putting songs in the background. It's distracting me. Just tell me what I need to hear clearly. I don't need the music in the background.
Which will now give us space to allow us not to take more credit to put into these projects, and also not to overtax Kenyans in the process.
Mecheki logo ya State House hapo ikimalizia unaona State House Kenya inajiandika Africa flag kanapanda juu. So yes, this was something I was supposed to sell the National Infrastructure Fund to us. And as I keep saying, do we need a new airport, a modern airport? Yes, we do. We need that. I think the only problem I've always had with these projects is the fact that they are inflated, and no one can convince me otherwise. They are inflated. Ukiangalia story ya MOCKERY Road, unasikia we are spending an extra 44 billion. That's a lot of money. Ukisikia kitu kama Talanta Stadium, there was 11 billion that was stolen, and we will still have to pay 100 billion in profit. And then ukiangalia Nini ama ni in interest, then ukiangalia what else, of course ile story ya Shi na Sha, There were no 4 billion. There's a lot of stealing happening there. So when you look at all these things, that's the reason why you have a problem with them. Otherwise, the ideas are actually good. If we are to stay away from borrowing and we have a national infrastructure fund, so we don't need to borrow from these other countries and debt, that's good. But these people never do anything for the country. It's always about steal. And as I keep saying, their software is rotten. And how do I know their software is rotten? Is because I don't know, I didn't see Duale there, but most probably I'm sure if I looked closely I'd see Duale. And just before Duale, like less than by the time ulikuwa nakaa chini hapa nizasema less than 18 hours earlier, Duale had been involved in the death of 3 Kenyans, and he was there and he was comfortable, and Ruto was there, knew that story, comfortable, and they did not care. So, do you actually care? Am it's all about pesa print? And the National Infrastructure Fund should also just be called pesa print. Eko nene.